first off, this is a special group to me defensively. We came into this year losing 7 starters from last year and really worked hard throughout the season to find a combination of guys that, allowed us to win 7 of our last 9 games. I think these guys have worked really hard. They've probably ventured, the University of Louisville into, the hardest schedule in the history of the school. Didn't start out the way we wanted it, but guys kept grinding, guys kept working. Like I said, we won 7 of our last 9 games. Thought guys played really well, and we were able to turn it around and do some great things. So, we're looking forward to sending our seniors, the few guys that we have, out the right way and cap it off with a victory.
Yeah, I would. Just like Todd said, we're really happy with this team, the way that they stuck together throughout a really tough season. On offense, when you got so many young people playing, so many true freshmen playing, it's hard to find true leadership and guys that you can really hang your hat on throughout the game. And I just think that our captains, Aaron Epps, Kelby Johnson, those type kids, they really did a good job of keeping us together, and so that we could fight through the tough times that we had. And then we get an opportunity tomorrow night, to send our seniors out the right way and to get our young kids headed in the right direction for next season. So we're really excited with the season, but I think our kids are really excited to be, the day before the game.
We'll now open it up for questions.
Garrick, I wonder how much you put on Lamar's plate, freshman quarterback, when you have a month before the game, and how much more you install maybe in the spring?
Well, it's been said a lot that our approach with him when we got back was to go back to training camp, because Lamar got there in June, and it was his first time to even start learning any of the terminology. So we were able to go back, the first week or so of, bowl preparation and teach him the offense as if he didn't know anything about the offense. And he ended up learning a lot more because he heard some of those terms before, because he knew some of those concepts. But when you go back and reteach it, I think he has a much better grasp right now than he did after the Kentucky game about the way our concepts and our protections and things really work. And then fundamentally, we got a chance to just go back to day one basics, getting under the center, getting your feet in the right position, how to handle the ball under the center. And I think you'll see some development from him in the game tomorrow, just as being a true quarterback.
Are you adding things that you didn't use during the season because he's got a better grasp?
Well, there's some more different concepts that he's able to handle now. You're going to see him in some different situations than you've seen him in the past, because he's a little more developed. I think we've had 11 or 12, maybe 13 practices, which is almost spring ball. So after 13 practices, you should be a lot better, than the last time you played.
Todd, I wonder if you could address how you manage to keep these guys motivated when they're 0-3, and how you rally.
Well, first off, you've got to have good leaders, and you got to have guys in the locker room that are going to be voicing the things that you're talking to them in meetings. And I think our leadership is really strong. I think we got some guys that are workers. But the other thing is, after each game, you've got to take a critical look at the tape. So we always came in on Sundays, took a critical look at the tape, and there were things we did really well, but at the end of the day, we didn't win the game. And the most important thing is you win the game. So you got to find ways to finish the game. And our players bought into that. They kept grinding. And the biggest thing is they didn't listen to the exterior noise. They listened to the guys in our building. They listened to the coaches. And they listened to our leaders. And guys kept grinding. And you could see on tape, we're really close to finishing those games off. And the biggest thing we had to do is just really take a critical look at your tape and find ways to make yourself better. And if you make yourself better and you take a team approach, then our team's going to be better. And that's really what we did, and we really took it one game at a time, kept building on it, and got some momentum at the end of the year.
Both of you, is it difficult to prevent young players from getting disheartened when you get off that kind of stuff?
No, it wasn't for us at all, because we were 0-3, But when I went and talked with them about all three of those games, they were one-possession games. You know, I think we lost to Auburn by 7 points. Houston may have been a 3-point game. Clemson may have been a 3-point game. And we had, I think, 7 freshmen starting at that time. So they saw it as, you know, not only are we in college, but we're actually out there competing against some of the top teams in the country, and we're going to be fine. We just got to continue to get better. So it wasn't hard for us. We just had to keep grinding them, keep them confident, and, you know, hopefully things start to slow down at some point for them. That was the plan, you know, as we started off so slow.
What did you guys learn as coaches from last year's bowl experience?
It's a little different for us because we were so experienced last year. We had a lot of seniors last year. Well, this year, there's a bunch of young kids. So the preparation is a little bit different. You know, these kids are looking towards next year. I think that's why, you know, when Coach talks about the attitude of the team every day, they're really pushing to get better. We challenged everybody to get better in their fundamentals and techniques every single day, not just focus on this game, but focus on becoming a better player. And so it hasn't been, you know, it's been a lot different. This bowl preparation has been for us on offense.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, you know, we're really young in the sense we're only losing 4 players. That's really in our 22, you know, that played for us during the course of the year. You know, these guys are workers. They want to send the seniors that are leaving out the right way because of the leadership that they provided, you know, through the beginning of the season, and really just what they've meant to our program. I mean, you know, to be able to, you know, take a program into a new conference and be able to have the success that we've had over the first couple years is exciting. And, you know, we want to send those guys out the right way, but we also want to, you know, kickstart our season for next year.
Todd, you've had several games where you've missed some key guys, injuries and other things. I mean, talk about the depth that you built, and is it close? You just mentioned only 4 guys. Is the depth close to where it needs to be?
Well, you know, you're always working for depth, and each year is changing, meaning we were a lot different last year personnel-wise than this year because of the guys that we had, you know, coming in. It's going to change a little bit next year with, you know, the addition of a few guys. I'm big into cross-training guys. I think it's important that you're able to play multiple spots because at the end of the day, defense is about winning one-on-one matchups. And you've got to find ways to get your best players on the field at the same time, and you can only play with 11. So sometimes a guy's got to play more than one spot. You know, Josh Harvey's probably a great example of that in the sense that he's played our star position, but he's also played safety. You know, Sheldon Rankins has played inside for us as a defensive tackle, but yet he's played outside for us. And by being able to cross-train guys, you can get your better players on the field together. And it's always about what is the best combination of players that you can put on the field to help you win the game. So that's the big part of it, is really just being able to cross-train guys and get them the experience they need.
Todd, has your defensive approach to the game changed since A&M changed their quarterback situation?
Not really. I mean, when you look at their team, you know, first of all, they've done an excellent job of recruiting. I mean, when you look at the players that they have, you know, up front they're young, but they've got talent, and they've gotten better throughout the year, and they work hard to finish blocks. They've got a downhill runner that can move the pile and can turn a 3 or 4 yard gain into a 6, 7, 8 yard gain or a double-digit run. And then when you get outside, you know, they got guys that are tall with length. They got guys with speed. So they create mismatches that way. And then they play fast and are well coached. So it's really more about the system than necessarily one player. You're always going to tweak things relative to the personnel that you're going to see, but for the most part, you know, we've been preparing for that system the same way.
Do you have any conversations with your third-year guys who are testing that are looking at the draft now, or do you wait until after the bowl game?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, because of, you know, these guys are leaving to go home from Christmas, or I should say New Year's, and they were there during the Christmas holidays. So I've had conversations with those guys to give them some information to look at, because they got to think through some things, and they've got to make the choice that's best for them. And it needs to be an educated decision because you're talking about the future, and it's an investment in them. You know, this is their brand. This is a future for them as a business person. I mean, so they've got to really look at it and do what's best for them. Each guy is different. I've kind of talked to each one about my opinion on it and where they should go or stand. And they've ultimately got to make the decision that's best for them. But I think the biggest thing is you provide them with the information to allow them to make a educated, calculated decision moving forward.
We have time for one more question.
You're just talking about how important to get the running game going, not just Lamar, but the backs and the improvement of the line in the last few weeks.
Yeah, well, it's really important to win any game. It takes a lot of pressure off your quarterback when you're able to run the football. And what we've been talking about is running the football with our tailback, not just Lamar running the ball. But at a certain point during the game, you end up doing whatever you have to do to win. And if that means Lamar is carrying the ball, then, you know, it is what it is. We don't want to get carried away with making sure everyone else is running the ball and Lamar not running the ball, because that would not be what's best for our team. That he is one of our most explosive players. He's one of the most dynamic players probably on the field. So to give us the best opportunity to win, we need to let him do what he does best. And, you know, so we're not going to get carried away in a one-game, you know, situation with making sure everybody else touches the ball. We're going to let Lamar carry it if he needs to carry it.
Thank you, Coach McGee, Coach Grantham. Thank you very much.